Hey everyone, it's me, Tully. It's been a minute, but I'm back, and I'm here to show you a little time-lapse breakdown of how I make some cover art. In this case, new song that's coming out. My idea was to kind of take the title and make it literal, being the pit, a mosh pit. And so here I'm just doing a little creative dress up, like a sketch almost, to just have the idea back in the head and as a possible reference when I'm in say Blender or creating it. So I'll save it and get rid of it. So now we open up Blender. Most of the time I simply reuse the same file before and just work off of that. Sometimes, since it is easier than starting a new project and reloading majority of the assets. What's happening here is I'm just trying to position it to get that stage. Oh, here I am going to put on a long video for a long time editing this. So as you can see, I'm kind of struggling, but sooner or later I get the pose that I want. Finally, I get that kind of pose that I want, and so a little bit on my phone, but I start adding the lights, kind of getting the scene ready, trying to envision it, kind of follow the sketch that I made a little bit before. Here I am just trying to make it so the render only shows what is going through the camera, just to make sure that when I do all the shading and having it render on cycles, which is very intensive on the GPU and CPU, that it runs kind of a little bit smoother. I don't have to do any useless stuff. And there I just changed my settings because I play video games and I have a very saturated monitor. But for this, I want to keep the colors nice and neutral. Now here comes a pretty long portion of me. In the sketch, I kind of had a big crowd, and so I'm very new to Blender. I'm always still learning a lot of things, and Blender is not very easy. I'm very stupid, so I'm currently watching a tutorial on my second monitor to try to figure out what the hell I'm doing, because I have no idea what I'm doing. I took a guy from Mixamo, simple little dance, and then kind of just followed the tutorial from there. Put my faith in it. So as you can see in the top left, the camera's off. That's because the mask and hat that I had on were heating up my face, and I was sweating profusely, so I just took it off. But I still have the timer up there to show you how long this is actually taking. Right now, I'm just going through and following a tutorial on crowd simulation and how to do all that. So all those nodes and whatnot, I still have no fucking clue what they do, but I was able to make something out of them. So here we go with a little bit more editing. Right now I'm just setting up lights and whatnot. This is kind of the image, the final thing that I wanted to do with it to make that little gap in the middle. Unfortunately, that's not how the final product turned out. I had a couple issues with that. But the end result doesn't look too terrible. But this was me trying to put emitters on to kind of make the spotlights seem more like there. So as you can see, I'm going through and looking up God Ray tutorials to kind of bring more emphasis to lights in the scene. So there's a pretty big jump in time here. I kind of scrapped the first crowd and what I was doing with their geometry nodes, and came up and found a better tutorial that gave it more randomness, which helped make the picture feel a little more organic. You can see the spaghetti nodes down there. I still have no idea what I'm doing. So yeah, but now I'm just setting up lights to kind of make it more atmospheric, kind of get that mood and the direction with, I want the eye to follow the light. So that's kind of what I'm doing right here. So right here, I wanted to do like some lasers. I wanted to do fire effects, but all the emitters and stuff seemed a little too difficult for me. And I don't know how well they would look, so I just kind of settled on lasers in the scene. So that's what I'm doing right here. A lot more simpler, but unfortunately Blender has been updated recently, so some of the tutorials that I was watching were completely out of date, so I kind of had to figure shit out on my own for a little bit. So you can see here I'm looking up how to create an alpha blend, which is basically just taking the dark, or I believe 250 times 3, like just black on a picture, and making it invisible or transparent. And Blender decided to have continuous new updates, which completely put all of the tutorials again out of time and commission, and so I kind of just got stuck fiddling with settings to try to see how the fuck I could fix this issue and rework it. So the lasers were kind of at the bottom. I thought about doing like a classic bottom laser type deal, but it didn't look that good. And so I just kind of put them up and above and kind of made them randomized to kind of fill the top scene since it was empty. And I feel like it kind of filled it up a little bit more. So yeah, I thought it was a good decision at the time. I think it's still a good decision right now as of recording, but Now I'm just rendering the image out in full image, high quality, so that I can throw it into Photoshop and start tuning it up. Start putting on some effects, messing with the lighting, because unfortunately, while I'm very skilled at Blender, I can't make Dick look realistic, which is kind of the goal. So, just kind of have to put on a fuck ton of effects and try to sell it, because it's so small on an iPhone that it's really difficult. Try to make it look like a picture. So that's what I'm doing right here. And here's the really fun part. The lettering. I do all of the lettering for my cover art. It's really fun. I think it's just a really fun text. It's super creative. But you do sit through a lot of iterations. As you can see, I'm kind of like fumbling what I want to do. I kind of have a general idea of the shape of the text and how I kind of want it to fold and curve, but I kind of just drop the ball majority of the time, but I kind of found my rhythm here. You can really see me just, started with the E and I was like, holy shit, that is a cool looking fucking E. And so I kind of just kept it and I was like, all right, gotta base the letters around that. And, you know, final product is almost around the corner. Now what I'm doing here is duplicating and erasing each side so that I'm able to do the correct letters for the one side, as the left half is the word the and the right half is the word pit. So I kind of have to do them individually just to make sure that the letters make sense and it's not just a the and the backwards. So now I'm kind of shaping the letters out, trying to get a bunch of wavy jags in there, kind of, you know, making it look messy in a way, orderly and messy. That's kind of how this text kind of came together. And I know there's probably a really easy way to fill in this, but for the life of me, I can't. And so I just kind of blank out and just color the whole thing in most of the time. So here, I didn't record the beginning part of this. I kind of ended the recording and restarted it since I wanted to add these kind of little details and inflections on the letter to add a little bit more character and not make them seem so bland. So what I'm doing is kind of going through and seeing kind of the outline of where and what looks good, and what kind of accentuates the letter, and then what kind of just doesn't work at all, and then fill those in from there. So now we're kind of nearing the end. This is when I kind of do all of the effects. I have no idea why I tried to color it like that, but as you can see, I fixed it. I thought the red would pop more. I don't know. With kind of the genre and style of songs that I make, I don't think using, you know, blue and whatnot is good. It seems like the staple is red for me, which is fine. I hope to expand on it, but works for now. But I'm adding a whole bunch of effects and whatnot to kind of make the text pop a little bit more, give it more definition in the picture and character. I know I put either drop shadow or outer glow on it to make sure that there's a little bit of a black fade on the edge, just to make sure it kind of stands out a little bit more than kind of blending in with the colors of the image. But yeah, that's the final render. It's the final image. If you made it this far, I want to say thank you. Obviously, this isn't really high effort content, being that the music and art is completely done separately and I'm just doing a voiceover, but it means the world to me. Hopefully I'll have this track out to you guys in the coming weeks. I hope you all are excited. Kind of teased it on most of my media platforms. If you haven't, go follow them. But other than that, I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video or the next release that I do. So thank you. And it's 12:30 a.m. on a Tuesday, so I'm gonna go to bed.